MCU theories always help to answer questions the movies leave unanswered, but this time they may have answered one of the biggest ones. Did Tony Stark really create the planet Saakar? We all know the Marvel Cinematic Universe is full of mysteries and theories. One popular theory is that in the events after the Avengers and before Thor Ragnarok, Tony Stark, aka Iron Man, created it by accident. Let's explore this wild theory, shall we? First up, Tony Stark's technology is behind a lot of things in the MCU. Because everything in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is interrelated, there are several ideas about probable ties between characters, events, and locations, one of which says Iron Man is responsible for creating the planet Saakar. Tony Stark, played by Robert Downey Jr., became one of the leaders of the original Avengers squad in the Avengers after his introduction in Jon Favreau's Iron Man, and his actions had major implications throughout the Infinity Saga and part of the Multiverse Saga as well. Iron Man was responsible for the invention of Vision, played by Paul Bettany, the high-tech outfit Spider-Man wore, the equation required for the time heist, and the defeat of Thanos and his forces in Avengers Endgame. When Tony sacrificed himself to save the world, according to one idea, Iron Man's legacy extends beyond that. He was also responsible for creating a planet, although unintentionally, Saakar, all thanks to the rocket in the Avengers. Saakar is a garbage planet in the Teo star system, ringed by wormholes that dump space junk. Saakar is the homeworld of the Saakarians, but it also houses many other species since many creatures have been trapped on the planet. Cate Blanchett's Hela threw out her brothers Thor, played by Chris Hemsworth, and Loki, played by Tom Hiddleston, while on the Bifrost, with both falling on Saakar at separate periods in Thor Ragnarok. Thor was caught and sold to the Grandmaster, played by Jeff Goldblum, the King of Saakar, by Valkyrie, played by Tessa Thompson. The Grandmaster, the brother of the Collector, aka Tanalir Tevan, played by Benicio del Toro, is Saakar's ruler and enjoys gaming and manipulating lower life forms. As a result, he uses a series of conflicts among his strongest slaves to keep the Saakarians distracted from his rule. Thor was reunited with his old buddy Bruce Banner, the Hulk, played by Mark Ruffalo, who had been stuck on Saakar for years since his absence at the conclusion of Avengers Age of Ultron. In the end, Valkyrie, Thor, and Hulk sparked a revolution in Saakar, with the Grandmaster being faced by the rebels in Thor Ragnarok's post-credit sequence. Iron Man created Saakar after the Avengers. Given that almost all of Saakar's past in the MCU is unknown, it's no surprise that there are hypotheses regarding its genesis, one of which connects it to Tony Stark. According to the hypothesis, which was shared on Reddit, Iron Man accidentally built Saakar at the conclusion of the Avengers when he sent the nuclear missile through the wormhole into the Chitauri fleet. According to the author, the missile's explosion triggered an explosive chain reaction that decimated the fleet and resulted in the birth of a garbage planet. This also caused a space-time distortion in the area where the newly formed Saakar sits, explaining why time flows differently there. The author also adds that the wormhole produced by Loki and Selvig, played by Stellan Skarsgård in the Avengers to bring the Chitauri in, ended up becoming the Devil's Anus as a result of Iron Man passing through it. The Devil's Anus is the biggest and most damaging wormhole in Saakar's atmosphere, through which rubble, waste, and other detritus from all across the galaxy constantly fell onto Saakar. The wormhole in the Avengers became this gigantic one over Saakar as a result of the missile's destruction. Because of its closeness to Earth, Hulk gained almost immediate access to Saakar. According to the hypothesis, Tony may have examined the wormhole at some point and learned where it led, and when things didn't go as planned in Age of Ultron, he dispatched the Hulk to Saakar to avoid detection. While the idea extends to Iron Man's MCU legacy and ties him to a section of the world to which he had no connection, it falls short owing to the Grandmaster. The eccentric king of Saakar is commonly referred to as the creator of Saakar since he arrived before anybody else, implying that Iron Man could not have built Saakar. On the other hand, because time flows differently in Saakar and the Grandmaster himself stated that he would be millions of years old, in comparison to the outside world, it is possible that the detonation created Saakar. The time distortion was such that the Grandmaster arrived not long after, but it was millions of years ago in Saakarian time. It's unknown whether Saakar will return to the MCU or whether this reality will build on on its origin narrative, still, it's doubtful Marvel would make Iron Man Saakar's inventor. The MCU has moved on from Iron Man and is now concentrating on other characters and their own adventures, so tying Saakar to him would be a huge step back. Meanwhile, faith in the MCU had begun to wane with the fragmented and bloated Phase 4, but Black Panther Wakanda Forever has restored faith in the universe and sparked interest for the future Phase 5. There are several concerns surrounding Phase 5, but none are more pressing than the issue of survival. The stakes are rising as we near the finale of the multiverse saga, and many characters are at stake. Firstly, Hank Pym of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Hank Pym, played by Michael Douglas, has been a devoted and dependable mentor to Scott Lang, played by Paul Rudd, since the ex-con received his Ant-Man suit, but his tenure in the MCU may be coming to an end. The spectacular teaser for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania revealed that the heroes would get imprisoned in the quantum realm, and we believe the world's first Ant-Man may never emerge. We don't know how Hank will die, but we suspect he'll sacrifice himself so that his daughter and wife, whom he reconnected with after decades apart in Ant-Man and the Wasp, may survive. This would be a fitting finish for a guy who always puts his family first. Also, Maria Hill in Secret Invasion. Since her entrance in the Avengers, Maria Hill, played by Kobe Smulders, has been underused in the MCU. Maria has largely been restricted to minor supporting roles, never allowing spectators to get to know her beyond her job as Nick Fury's right-hand lady. This is a heartbreaking tragedy made worse by the destiny we fear she may meet in the forthcoming Disney Plus series Secret Invasion. The MCU has evolved beyond espionage, with gods, mutants, and monsters now taking center stage. Therefore, we don't see Agent Hill playing a significant role in any foreseeable adventures. Unfortunately, Secret Invasion will most likely be Maria's last appearance. We're hoping to get to know her a little better initially. Next is Nick Fury in Secret Invasion. Although he was the one who put the Avengers together in the first place, we worry Samuel L. Jackson's Nick Fury's tenure in the MCU is coming to an end. Since S.H.I.E.L.D. split apart in Captain America: The Winter Soldier, the One-Eyed Spy's prominence in the series has dwindled. Though the Spider-Man Far From Home post-credits sequence led us to assume he was instrumental in the formation of S.W.O.R.D., we have yet to see evidence of this, or his significance to the organization. Nothing is certain, but we're concerned that Fury won't have a significant enough role following the Secret Invasion to warrant the famous character's survival. We also have Kragling, who was in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. One of the primary advantages of working with an ensemble cast is that directors may be harsh when it comes to taking off special characters. With the Guardians of the Galaxy series, James Gunn has never shied away from this obligation, killing a version of Groot, Yondu, and allowing Thanos to sacrifice present-day Gamora. This leads us to suspect that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Gunn's last film in the series, will follow suit. It may potentially include more deaths than in previous chapters, with many of the main characters' tales likely to be resolved in the highly anticipated film. Despite the fact that Sean Gunn portrays Kraglin, the director's brother, we believe he is the most vulnerable since he is a new team member and isn't as fully developed as other characters. Sean might consider removing James from his Christmas card list. Also, Nebula from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, one of the most intriguing aspects in the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy, has been the connection between adoptive sisters Nebula, played by Karen Gillan, and Gamora, played by Zoe Saldana. Though they originally despised each other since Thanos often placed them against one another, they have come to respect and love one another after learning that neither of them is to fault for their childhoods. With that in mind, the ideal method for that dynamic to resolve would be for Nebula to sacrifice herself for her sister, letting her live out her days with the man she loves, Peter Quill, played by Chris Pratt. And Drax of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Drax, Dave Bautista, is one of the most adored characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He's the funniest character in the MCU, and fans will miss him when he's gone since he takes everything literally and is brutally honest no matter what. Despite his humor, Drax is a character plagued with pain at the loss of his kid and wife, and although Bautista believes Marvel messed up on the plot, he has expressed a desire to conclude the character's journey. Though we don't want to believe it, we believe his journey will conclude with him being reunited with his family in the afterlife after one last time rescuing the world. The universe is expanding and the timeline is always changing. There are plenty of possibilities for what happened to Tony Stark before he landed on Saakar? And what do you think about the wild MCU theory? Do you have any theories of your own? Join the conversation in the comments, and while you're down there, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Bye!